Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally, and I mean literally, does not work. It's the afternoon feeding frenzy, and as you can see, my buddies, they're hungry, and they want to get fed, and I tried to get out here before we get these rainstorms, because I have some bad rains from the hurricane that's coming up the East Coast today and tomorrow. So I wanted to get out here before it gets real wet. You know, the fish, they don't mind getting wet, but damn if I do. So I'm curious. Now we all know I am a Dak Prescott fan, okay? And believe it or not, I know some of you guys out there think that the only reason why I'm a Cowboys fan is because of Dak Prescott. And see, you idiots out there really just don't know me. I have been a Dallas Cowboys fan since before they ever had a Super Bowl. I remember being a little kid because I literally was born into the Dallas Cowboys. For all those assholes out there that say, you know, you're just a bandwagon fan. When I became a fan, there was no bandwagon. Let's be clear here. When I became a fan, I didn't know what football was, to be quite honest. If you want to say that, I guess I followed along with my dad, because my dad, growing up where he did, going through segregation. And let me explain something to you guys. The reason why I grew up in Virginia and wasn't a Washington Redskin fan, the Washington football team was the last team to integrate. You got to understand where my family and my people came from. The NFL started to integrate in 1948, but even in the 60s, the Washington franchise wouldn't let a black person on the team. I want you to understand that I was born in 1965. In 1965, right now where I am, a black and a white person could not be married. Not only that, if you were seen together, you might get lynched. Knowing this, knowing that other teams actually had black players on them, knowing that the Washington franchise wouldn't allow those, made it difficult being a black person to support that team, which is part of the reason why you'll find a lot of older black people that have been in the Washington, D.C. area that were actually Cowboy fans. I'm not saying that racially things were better in Dallas for the average person, but you saw people that looked like you on the Dallas Cowboys. And understanding that the Washington franchise was the Southern strategy, and that's the reason why they didn't want the Cowboys to come into existence. Understand that my brother was born in the car going past 3 white hospitals on his way to Freeman's Hospital in Washington, D.C., because he wasn't allowed to be born at those hospitals. My father actually delivered him in the car. I myself had to go past 3 white hospitals on the way to Freeman Hospital in Washington, D.C. And understanding Freeman Hospital was hospital system that was built after slavery for free men. So when you say, you know, you're not a real fan, I mean, you're just a bandwagon fan. Well, I wanted to be like my dad growing up. And I remember that first Super Bowl loss to the Colts. So anybody that says you're only a Dallas Cowboy fan because of Dak Prescott, you don't know jack about me. And don't feel the need that you can respond about me when you don't know me. Whether Dak Prescott is with the Dallas Cowboys or not, I will still be a Dallas Cowboys fan. That you can take to the bank. So, coming back down to earth here. It's amazing to me how Dak Prescott is graded on a different scale than everybody else. Right now, the Texans are talking about a long-term deal for DeShawn Watson. And most of you guys have no problem, or most of the people out there will have no problem. Of course, take care of him. And I want to understand what's the difference between DeShawn Watson and Dak Prescott. In fact, I'll even throw Lamar Jackson into this equation. And I know a lot of people going, oh, here he goes. He's crazy. He must be smoking some shit. No. Because I'll go through and I'll talk about statistics that Dak Prescott has. And they say, oh, well, no. It's not about statistics. It's about winning. Okay. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. 0-2. In fact, I want to get my numbers here. I know you don't believe in statistics, but Lamar Jackson, 2 playoff games, 0-2. 51% completion percentage, 559 yards in those 2 games, which comes out to 279 yards a game. 3 TDs, 3 interceptions, 6.4 yards per completion, and a rating of 68. DeShawn Watson, 1-2 in the playoffs. 63.5 completion percentage, 870 yards, which averages 290 yards a game. Not bad. 4 TDs, 1 interception, 6.9 yards per completion, half a yard more than Lamar Jackson, and a 91 rating. Okay. Dak Prescott, 64.1, 1 percentage point more than Watson. Not a whole lot, just 1% better. Playoffs? You're talking about playoffs? Yeah. Same identical record to Watson, 1-2. 794 yards, 264 yards a game, right? A little bit lower. But 5 TD passes, 2 interceptions. So he has 1 more touchdown and 1 more interception. But he averaged 7.8 yards per game per pass, which is a full yard more than Watson. His rating, 95.7, so 5 percentage points higher. So I ask you, if we look at it and say, oh, well, DeShawn Watson, he's doing incredible, and don't give me this saying that, Dak Prescott has better players. Watson had arguably the best, and I mean the best, wide receiver in football, which I still don't understand why they got rid of him. I'm just thinking that Bill O'Brien thinks he's Bill Belichick and that he can make moves like that, but he's not Bill Belichick. There's only one Bill Belichick, and everybody who's been under him and trying to be Belichick has failed at being Bill Belichick. But I will give O'Brien this. He's the only Bill Belichick assistant who became a head coach that actually got a playoff win. So I ask you, if Watson and Dak have the identical, well, actually Watson has the worst, statistically, playoff stats, have the same playoff record, and Lamar Jackson has none, and I'll throw Carson Wentz into this as well. Carson Wentz has not even a full quarter. Not even a full quarter in the playoffs. Then what is it about Dak Prescott? Why is it we look and say DeShawn Watson is great, Lamar Jackson is great, when neither of them have done anything more in the playoffs than Dak Prescott? In fact, Carson Wentz hasn't either. So what is it? What is it? I'm just trying to understand. I honestly want to know, what is it? Dak's got statistics and at least is tied as far as the record or better in playoffs. So what is it? Guys, you know what it is? I don't know what it is. I'm hoping you can tell me. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get them fed here. I'm hearing more and more thunder here, and I'm trying not to get struck by lightning. Hope you guys tune in tonight for our live stream coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern. Right now, I believe it's around 46 players that have opted out, and I want to say it's about 60 players who have been on and off. You know, the list changes by the hour. I think it's 60 players roughly that have tested or on the commissioner's list for COVID. So we'll have the updates and anything that's going on with our Cowboys tonight at 9 o'clock. I'll see you guys then. All right, guys. I don't know if I'll be back out. We might get flooded out, so you're on your own. I'll see you tonight.